Greetings.
Hello.
So the live cast should be kicking on right at 6 o'clock. So
Alright.
if you don't mind just letting me confirm
Sure.
we are live. Okay, we're all set.
All right. So I'd like to call to order the Historic District Commission meeting for September 12th, 2022. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. The Frostburg Historic District Commission implements the city's historic preservation overlay district of the Frostburg Zoning Ordinance Section 4 as adopted in 2014 pursuant to the authority granted by the Maryland Land Use Article Section 8 as adopted in 2012 of the Annotated Code of Maryland. This meeting is open to the public and conducted in compliance with the State of Maryland's Open Meetings Act. The Frostburg Historic District Commission is charged with the preservation of historic structures and the surroundings within the designated district in order to safeguard the heritage of the city, stabilize and improve property values, strengthen the local economy, and foster civic beauty. All right, we'll do the roll call. I am the chair, Dawn Hein. Vice Chair Joseph Hoffman is not with us this evening. Bill Determan.
Here.
Rob Rapan.
Here.
Maureen Brewer.
Here.
And our alternate, Daniel Filer, is not with us tonight. So Commissioners, if you would please review the agenda for this evening, and when you are ready, if I can have a motion.
This is Maureen Brewer. I'll make the motion to accept the agenda.
I second it. Bill Determan.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Hearing none opposed, the agenda is approved. And Commissioners, if you would also review the minutes from our last meeting, August 8th, 2022, and when you are ready, if I can have a motion.
I'll make a motion and we approve.
Maureen Brewer, I'll
Minutes.
second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Hearing none opposed, minutes are approved. So that takes us to our first project presentation, 101 East Main Street, the metal roof over a rear deck. And we have Mr. Tom Farrell with us this evening. Come on up and join us, please.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Okay, so I'm here to represent Atlee Pullen, the property owner. Mr. Pullen asked me to construct a roof over top of the rear deck on this property. My understanding is it's a residential rental property, so there are a number of people going in and out of this existing porch on a daily basis, residents and guests. And Mr. Pullen's objective is to build a roof over top of the porch for resident safety, property protection and preservation of what already exists there, and then overall property maintenance and improvement on his property. It's fairly simple project for me. I've been in this business for a long, long time. I've done other work with Mr. Pullen and I, including roofs, so I'm happy to do this for him if the project's approved. There's a structure that already exists there. You can see it's lacking in a lot of different ways, okay? And so what I prepared for you here is just a sketch of what I plan, something very similar to this. Location of posts might move here or there, a foot or two. Use of the current deck material that's there. Some might need to be replaced. Some we should be able to conserve it and reuse. We're gonna use treated wood, which is in line with what currently exists. Of course, it'll be constructed up to code standings. Our rafters will be 2x6s. They'll also be treated, so all the wood will be treated wood that I add. Whatever's existing, we're not changing that. It's a fairly simple design. It's just what we call a lean-to roof. I want to point out too, in case anyone doesn't know, but there had been a second-story porch and a roof over top of that in the past. So that was all demolished at some point in the
I was
past.
gonna ask about that. That's that gap right there.
It's the gap, and then if you look closely, you'll see that
See a
there's a
door.
plywood panel that's covering a doorway,
Yeah.
okay? So, I think what it was really was, it was a door, a landing, and a set of steps that came down to the first floor porch. Okay, and I don't have any,
Maybe it was an
Photos.
apartment up there and they needed a second means of egress.
that's probably what it was, all right? So, I'm not certain how that means the egress isn't needed now, but, that's
Right.
not what I'm here to present, so.
I understand.
Right. So there'll be just a series of, 6x6s and a beam on top, and then rafters to support this metal roof.
So,
Generally speaking, it's gonna make a great improvement to the way the rear of that building looks.
so where does the pitch come? Does it come right under the gable roof?
No, it won't be near that high, so it'll be,
Okay.
it will be, if I could point out to you,
Yeah.
it will be underneath, it'll be underneath that window. If I can just point to this window up high, right here. Yeah, that window.
Okay.
Thank you, Bethany. So it'll be just on top of that. So this, from here up, is already 8 feet. And you can see this existing rafter is, kind of in line with what we'll build. We're gonna make it a little bit steeper so we get, just the rain moving off of it.
So the
We
front
wanna
will
have
come
at least a
down.
412
Yeah.
pitch,
Uh-huh.
okay? And we'll have snow rail on that.
I'm assuming the window down below is not gonna be blocked after you do this.
No, it won't be blocked,
And
no.
I would assume that you're going to put a railing in that meets code.
Yeah.
We're gonna put a railing in. It'll be a simple wood railing, but it'll be in code, so
Okay.
nothing, no
Okay.
gaps
4
larger than
inches,
4
yeah.
inches, yeah.
Same way coming down the steps and all that.
Yeah, now the steps have a railing on them now, on the outside, but anyhow,
Anything
yeah,
that
it's
opens out.
just a handrail, so there's no
Right.
spindles or balusters, whatever you wanna call them. Yeah, so we're gonna add spindles down there.
Okay.
And then, all the way around the porch. Now, it does connect with the next door building. And, there's step overs there where I think, people from each building might sort of share porches whenever it's convenient for them.
So it shares it like above these stairs here?
Yeah, so if you just follow this line out, this post right here is pretty much in line with the joint between those two buildings. So
It looks
there's
like
no rail that separates
There's
those.
stairs right here
There are
Yeah,
stairs.
there's
right
stairs there.
between that building and this building.
There are.
Oh, I see them.
Looks like they
And so
share the
Mr.
same
Pullen doesn't
stairs.
own this.
That's what I was gonna
He
ask.
does not own
So
it.
he's going to secure that side part, or you're going to?
Yeah, we're gonna secure it, yeah. And now, there's no need to have a barrier there. So if Mr. Pullen and the other neighbor agree to let people
So
step
there is,
over.
there is a deck over,
Mhm.
Yeah, so you can see it on this picture here. See this deck, it looks like they share the same
They do, and then there's a
steps.
set of stairs that go up to the second floor of the
Yeah.
yellow building.
Okay,
that's
And there's no
interesting.
roof over that deck.
right.
And we're gonna build, if approved, we're gonna build the roof just to the property line, just to the
Right.
division,
Right,
and then
makes sense.
just to the other edge of the building.
Okay.
So there'll be, if you can see, there'd be a part of the roof. Well, we might, if we have flexibility, we may cover the entire porch. This rail right here goes back about,
Yeah.
and it's inside about a foot. So
Uh-huh.
what we wanna do is go all the way to the edge of the building, so they'll have a,
Oh,
on,
okay.
it'll be about a 12-inch overhang on
Uh-huh.
this side, 12-inch overhang out here, and 0 overhang on this side.
Yeah.
Because we
Is
can't-
that corner you just touched a minute ago, that outside corner, the outside edge of the building, or does it stick out past the building? See what I
No,
mean?
it goes.
This
it's
is
actually less than
inside.
the edge
It's
of the
inside
building.
It's
the building.
inside the building
Yeah,
about
It's
a
like
foot.
about a
Right.
foot and a half.
Yeah.
So what I was
You can
getting
see it on
is
this
that,
picture, it's a good one.
just it's sort of an odd
You can
angle.
see it well.
Yes.
Does that match up to the outside of the building? It
Mhm.
Go to
sticks
It's
your-
out.
in.
Go to your next
Oh,
pictures,
in.
Rob.
Yeah, if you go to
Okay.
page 8 of 16.
Yeah, you can
it's
see
a really
that
good
here.
view of
You
that.
can see it's in.
Okay. It just looks,
It's the
Backwards on it.
angle. Yeah. It's the
So
angle.
when we place the beam, which I showed in my sketch, it will actually overhang, this is a good clear picture here. It will overhang this enough to cover this side of the porch. So
Mhm.
the beam will have a little bit of cantilever to it. Just so we can, have a place to catch our outside rafter.
Right.
Yeah.
Now
And we
the,
want to maximize the roof so we can keep, his objective is to keep snow off the porch.
Sure.
So we want to maximize the size of the roof, and we don't want to go past the edge of the house. We're going to go right to it, and it's
So I
complicated
can't
there.
see the other house, but obviously the other house uses their steps down and then uses the steps from this house
Looks
to
like
get
they
on
have a
down.
Yeah, they have a
Stairs, too.
separate set of steps,
See,
but I
they
think,
have a-
they do have a separate set
Yeah.
of steps.
See, here's
Mhm.
their steps too.
Yeah.
so you can
They
see it
probably
in that
use
other
both.
picture. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I see it.
They look like they can use both.
They can use both
Mhm.
currently, right? And
Right.
it's, each of the property owners, it's their own risk they're taking by
Liability,
allowing
yeah.
that,
Yeah.
right? Because you have a little liability there. But certainly Mr. Pullen's will be better now because it'll have, code conforming ramp.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
now, will that roof attach to the top of these two posts? Or we
Yes.
have to cut-
Well,
okay.
that's the plan. Okay, so,
So you're keeping those two.
yeah, we
posts.
want to keep those two, and then we're going to need to add one over here, right,
yeah.
to catch that. So even our rafters, well, when I drew this sketch, I did it slightly, well, I did it wrong, because the big 6x6s that we plan to use are actually on the inside of the steps.
Right.
And so we're going to have,
That's why I wasn't sure if you were keeping them or not.
we want to,
Okay. So,
okay.
Yeah. So they would be
they would
here.
really be in there. And
Yeah.
so but we want to cover the steps, so there's going to be a 4-foot cantilever to the
A
rafters.
cantilever. Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Now, Mr. Pullen did not ask me to put gutter on there, but we could easily put gutter on there if you would ask for that. I don't know if you,
I don't think we can ask you that.
you can't ask us that, okay.
Um,
Well, I'm gonna recommend it.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say.
Well, that would only make sense.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
While you got
recommendation.
somebody there with the
Right.
equipment.
Yeah, just do it.
To
yeah.
protect
Sure.
protect the property.
He really wants the steps covered, and if we can just cantilever that roof over, they'll basically be covered from any straight down snow. Anything that blows in is gonna blow in anyhow.
Right.
The other way we could cover the steps is to actually have a sloped roof that comes down right over top of the steps.
Steps.
But that's even more problematic in my opinion, because there's 2 stairs or 3 stairs down to a landing, and then
Right.
8
Right.
more stairs down, and that would look hideous, I think. So, I recommended to Mr. Pullen that we do it this way with the cantilever, and he was fine with that.
And you're thinking the cantilever is gonna be about 4 feet from the
It's gonna be about 4 feet.
Yeah.
It's gonna cover those
The
steps.
width of the stairs.
So if you have a rain or snow occurrence and it's coming straight down, the steps will remain dry, but if it blows,
Well,
it's gonna be wet, wet or
So-
snowy.
Is this attached to the 2 posts that you're keeping? Is that metal? Is that being removed?
Things are bolted up there. What remains of the old platform from the upstairs
Right.
porch, they're all bolted into the 6x6s, so we'll be removing all those things.
Okay.
So it'll just be sloped rafters, there'll be no ceiling joists in there at all.
Okay.
Well,
And it'll be open, completely open, so when you look up, you'll see, I didn't draw on here the details of the purlins, but there'll be
Sure.
purlins on top of the 2 to 6 rafters, and then the metal roof goes on
Right.
those. So when you look up, you'll see the
You'll see.
purlins, you'll see the bottom of the metal roofing, which is a white color, so it's nice reflective. There's no plans for any light fixtures or any electrical in this plan at all. I don't know what he might do, after the structure's, built, but it's not nothing in my plans.
And will the bottom be all open here?
I was just gonna ask if they're gonna close that in.
No, it's not part of my project. You see there's a big plywood panel there now. There's a lot of debris in there.
It would look
Mm-hmm.
a ton better, like
If
2
it was
tons better.
closed in.
if that was closed in.
Yeah, well, I can recommend that to
Some
him.
kind of screening or?
Well, it would be, I think it would
They
be
got
better for his
meters
building
back
too, but
there.
I would think he would be dealing with the snowplow coming down there, and hopefully it's
Yeah.
nice enough to push it to the right instead of the
yeah.
left.
well, now there's that empty lot on the side,
Yeah.
so, and I think that's a two-way street right there, and then on Maple, isn't it? And then
No,
it
it's
changes.
just one
to
way.
the
It's a
building
one-way.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
because he's
hopefully
got
this
his
plowman will
meters
just turn
underneath
the
there.
plow.
Well, it's been
You
like
can see
this
the
for,
meters
Yeah.
right there.
I think,
So he
it's
needs
been
to
like
let
this for.
You
access
need
to that.
access,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, there's all kind of debris underneath there, and, since we're not gonna be working underneath, we're not gonna change that, we're not gonna do anything to address it.
Sure.
But, it could be, something I would recommend to him that, while we're there, we can clean that up and maybe add, I don't know if he'd want another solid plywood panel there, but he might wanna add some lattice panels or
Lattice.
something, would be nice, and still allow some airflow and keep anything that's blowing in off the alley or the street, from going in underneath his property. And then I suppose his tenants probably put their trash down there or something, or, somehow trash always manages to accumulate, in a rental property.
Bethany, do you know, it looks like from the photo that there's some kind of meter there on the house underneath the deck.
That does appear to be an electrical meter.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where the water meter is located on this property, but I would imagine that it would be in that general vicinity as well.
I didn't know if there were any codes that would concern access to that.
I'm not sure of that answer off the top of my head.
It was something I had come across in another project, and I didn't know if that was something to be concerned about if we were going to talk about any type of screening or anything there.
Right. And I'm not sure if that would be a code issue anyway, or if that would be a Potomac Edison requirement.
Right.
So,
Okay.
I think that would, and
Yeah, I
And
mean,
the other thing is that you can access that space through the backside of the stairs. So even if you'd add a
Oh, I see
panel,
what
you
you're
wouldn't be
saying.
blocking
Right,
access.
yes, okay,
So,
that's great.
Is this a 4-apartment structure?
I believe there are 4 units.
2 up and 2 down. Okay.
yeah, I haven't been inside, so I can't confirm that either. There's just the one front door and one back door.
I know, that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, right.
Because neither of the windows downstairs are,
It's a very long building, so
Yeah,
there's
it's
a
a
lot of
very
room
long
in there for
Mhm.
2 apartments on this
It
floor.
looks like the front door is right in the middle of the building.
Right, so I'm thinking there's a central staircase, but
Right.
I'm just guessing.
Yeah.
Incidentally, I have a card for everyone. You're welcome. You're welcome.
thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, did we have any public comment?
We did not. We solicited public comment as we always do and haven't received anything.
Okay, thank you.
I just want to state too, if I may, Mr. Pullen also has asked me to do some other improvements on the structure that don't require historic preservation or general maintenance issues, particularly the fronts. We're going to do some painting, and we're going to replace soffit and fascia, and there's some minor woodwork that we do above the windows in the front. And so I'll bring that up because Mr. Pullen, is making a valid effort here to improve that building overall. And I think that should be noted.
Wonder how many times he gets hit when people go down that alley.
Yeah, who knows? And that deck, I mean, it sets back off the street enough, so, you know, you'd have to be really losing control of your automobile to hit that post right there.
Yeah, I know what
Yeah,
you're saying.
right.
Yeah, they'd have to be on his property.
Yeah, they'd have to be on his property, right?
All right, commissioners, do any of you have any additional questions or concerns?
No. I will make the motion. I have studied the application and all relevant documents and presentation related to this case, and I am familiar with the property in question. I find that the proposed changes are compatible with the neighborhood because there is a general compatibility of exterior design, scale, proportion, arrangements, texture, and material to be used. Based on these findings, I move to approve the proposal because the use of the exterior material are closely similar in appearance to the original material or significant buildings in the district pursuant to section 4.1.J.1.7.
Rob Rappan, I'll second.
Is there any other discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
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 Hearing none opposed, the proposal is approved.
Thank you very
Thanks.
much.
It'll be, you know, there'll be some time, a month or so before we're working, but
Wait
Okay.
till the snow comes.
yeah, we're gonna try and do it before the snow hits. Yeah, the work crew will be mighty happy about that.
Yes.
The other thing is those metal panels, you know, the wind catches
Oh,
them
yeah.
pretty bad, they're hard to
That's the
handle.
trouble with Rossburg too.
Yeah, yeah, okay, thank you
All right,
very
thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, I'll be in touch tomorrow.
All right, old business, we have 45 Ormand Street.
Yes. At our last meeting, I had mentioned that the city had obtained 45 Ormand Street, which is right inside of our historic district. I have the aerial view pulled up here. So, I believe last time I had mentioned that after the property was obtained, we learned that the city owned the building, but not the land that it sits on. So, you can see on the tax map here, the city actually owns this parcel and this house. So, and then this, so the house actually sits on a parcel owned by Tammy and Lorenzo Seminario, who own 33 South Water Street right here. So, since our last meeting, the city has the property under contract with the Seminarios, basically to do a flip-flop. So, as long as the Seminarios have the house demolished, then we would just kind of flip-flop it. So,
You mean flip-flop? They take yours and take the city's and the city takes theirs?
So basically, the city just kind of, we work out the legal quagmire in that way, that the city has, the property under contract, under the condition that the Seminarios, pay for the demolition prior to conveyance, and then they keep their
The land.
free and clear, and then we have our parcel behind. So, our city code does state that buildings owned by the city or by higher learning institutions or any learning institution, whether it be an elementary school, a high school, they are not subject to the regulations set forth in our zoning ordinance and our city code. So as I said, the provision of the contract was that, the seminarios would incur the expense of demolition prior to full conveyance. So I just wanted to give you that update.
So would it be an advantage for the city to actually own that property too, or not? The land, or,
Probably, I mean, I can't really speak to that.
like maybe like access from Ormand Street, or,
Yeah, because you're kind of landlocked with that other parcel.
Yes, and, I'm not quite sure what is planned there.
I thought they were doing a parking,
That's what
I thought they were doing a parking lot for the
that's what I thought.
senior center.
That
That may just be a rumor on the street, you know.
that
There's no
actually will
rumors on
be,
any
There's
street
always a
around here.
rumor.
that will be over here.
That's
Okay,
theirs.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yes. So,
Yeah, because I really can't tell what building's what from.
I can't either. I'm having trouble
Oh.
visualizing.
See, we lived 2 houses down, so I.
But I can't tell like what that big thing is.
The
and
big
what
thing
that-
Yeah,
on the
27
top right
is
corner.
the senior center.
Is
That's
the
the senior center, so
Yes.
that's why I thought that piece was,
Right.
behind it was gonna be a parking lot. See, so if you go over to your left, then that's the property.
That, I
Correct,
think is,
yeah.
that
Yeah.
Well,
already
that's
is.
what-
there's a little piece
sliver.
there though that belongs to 29.
What a mess.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's odd,
Yeah.
very odd.
it was a very strange situation, so
Yeah.
this was the best outcome that
Kinda.
they could come up with for it, so.
Do we know any of the history of what that house was, the one that's going to be demolished? Was it a carriage house at one time or something like that?
I have no
Or
idea. In
criminal
our
activity,
historic,
or, I mean, it just seems like this is so,
It's
Not
so
right.
small. It's
It is tiny.
it's odd. It's a very odd. Even from the outside, it's hard to tell what it originally looked like.
yeah,
it was one
yeah.
of those like revenge properties, like they just went and sold a little sliver to someone else.
Well, for the longest while, people were actually living there.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was always surprised.
it was not always the
Yeah.
most savory people
Group.
who lived there.
They had lots of cars to park there.
Yeah.
There has been, so, I mean, first of all, I want to note that this is not listed as a contributing resource within our
Right.
historic district. And this property for a decade or more has been kind of a chronic code enforcement issue, both on the outside and on the inside.
Yeah.
So, I think that the solution that has been reached is probably the best case scenario.
Sure. All right, well, we have some new business listed as well. Building improvement, ADA upgrades grants.
Yes, so I just wanted to share with you that we have launched a new round of facade improvements and ADA upgrades. The city has been awarded a $50,000 grant. So through this program, we've done this, I believe, since about 2014. So this is a pretty long-standing program, and this would offer a 50% match to just general building improvements, and then a 75% match for improvements that enhance the ADA accessibility. So this is eligible, or this is offered to properties that are located within the city's sustainable community boundary, which encapsulates most of our downtown district and falls very largely within our historic district. So I just wanted to share with you.
And this is for businesses only?
Yes,
Okay.
this is.
Okay.
Well,
then-
businesses.
Well, I just
and-
wanna make sure, cause if it's open to, you know,
Yeah, I know, you live there.
well, because it's very expensive, yes.
Yes, it is.
And then, I think this format looks great. It's very easy to understand.
Thank you.
I think it has really nice, especially the check boxes. I think it gives you a nice detail of like, okay, well, you can stop now. You know? And it tells you exactly what to do. Are you accepting any like, I proof a lot for work. Would you like my, I had just a couple little typos and,
Sure.
like, just formatting things.
Yeah, sure.
Because I didn't know if you guys did this in-house.
Yes,
think
I
it
put
looks
this
really
together.
nice. It looks really nice.
Thank you.
And, so this will be, they can do this electronically on the website?
They can download this and then just scan it.
Okay,
And then
okay.
my contact information, I'm the one
Right,
that's
okay.
handling the grant program. So
Okay.
any questions can be forwarded to me, and I do welcome feedback on
Well,
any and everything.
I think it looks great.
Thank you.
The one question I did have on page 14, where it says, has a description of project, and it reads attached supplement, information including drawings and colors. Are we asking for, I mean, I know this is the historic district, we can't dictate colors, but will that be included? Are you just encouraging, like,
Well,
certain
so
colors?
every project that is considered for this program,
because of the
it has to go through the
Trust?
Maryland Historical
Okay,
Trust
that's right.
first.
Okay.
So we just want to make sure that the information that we're submitting, we'd rather have
It's-
too much
it's the same
information
information
rather
go
than,
elsewhere.
no.
Okay. Okay, so I'll just pass these little things to you.
Okay, great. Thank you.
I had a quick question. I'm not sure if it's the state or not. I'll have to look at the paper I have. But they're doing cemetery preservation workshops.
Okay.
And supposedly they were going to be coming out to each county. So I didn't know if there was one scheduled for Allegheny County that you might know of, or I don't know, maybe it's being held in Cumberland or something like that. But that might be something interesting to at least put on the website or something
Yeah.
like that.
Right.
And this is actually the first time hearing about that. So
Okay.
I'll look into that tomorrow, and I'll send some information out to the commissioners as well.
I'll look. I have a flyer. I went to a Maryland Humanities meeting, and there was someone who was representing, who's actually going to be doing the workshops, and they handed out flyers.
Okay.
So, but they didn't have dates. So, but they said they were coming to Allegheny County. So,
Okay. I'll see if I can find anything about that, and I'll also reach out to the Historic Preservation Coordinator in Cumberland, because
Yeah.
she might have.
she would probably have it. She was at the meeting as well.
Okay, great.
So she might have it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I will certainly get that information for you all, and I'll send it to you in an email.
Okay.
Thank you for bringing that up.
Oh, yes. Does anyone have anything else to discuss?
I'm good.
Nope. All right. So do I have a motion to adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 All right.
Thank you.
We are adjourned.
Thought you weren't gonna do that.